Hi, I'm AA. I'm an indie game developer and I have a problem. I can't keep myself from starting new project before finishing the previous one. But this time, I think I have a good reason. You see, I'm a solo developer, which means I don't have any friends or partners. When I start working on a new game, it is basically just me, my PC, and the endless void of creativity of my own weird, questionable mind. On the bright side, it means I don't have to convince anybody about any random idea I come up with. But on the not so bright side, it means I spent way too long developing a decent sized game. For example, my first commercial game, A Pretty Young Bunny, available on all your favorite platforms, took me around 5 years to make. And my second game, La Petite Avril, took even longer if you consider the fact I shelved it for a long time while I focused on finishing A Pretty Young Bunny. So at some point, I realized if I keep going this way, I will only have time to make a couple more games before I become too old for this shit. And that's when it hit me. I need to make smaller games between big releases, as a way to keep things interesting and share more joy to the world. And also make some extra cash. Now that you know my reasoning, maybe excuse, allow me to introduce you to my newest game, Cannon Blast. Cannon Blast is a casual game where you control a pirate human cannonball on a quest to recover his missing treasure map. In Cannon Blast, you have to navigate the levels shooting yourself from cannon to cannon in order to reach the exit. Levels are one screen only but are full of hazards and can behave in many different ways. So finding your way around might not be as easy as it sounds. The idea for Cannon Blast came to me while playing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, the absolute best platformer of all time. Specifically, a level where you have to shoot decay from barrel to barrel, timing your shoots and finding the right path in order to get to the next area. I was playing the game when I thought they could probably make a whole game out of this one mechanic. They could, or I could, and then I did it. But it was only a prototype, and for years it stayed there, on a forgotten folder with the rest of the other prototypes I made over the years. Until recently, when I had this realization about making a short, fun game. And remember, I really liked this idea and decided to make it a reality. So if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I started teasing a concept for this game on the community tab. I was surprised of how fast I started making progress. I guess I really like this concept. 2 weeks later, and here we are with a full working version of the game. I made 10 levels already. I also have a chest screen for unlocking characters, the concept for the shop, and a level select screen. I want this to be a very simple game, and I want to finish it in a reasonable time. So I'm trying to keep things nice and simple. I spent most of this time getting the feel of the game right. I added a little zooming effect whenever you finish or start a new level, and made sure you have a ton of particles going on to spice things up. One of the things I knew I wanted to do was adding characters. I didn't want the ball to just be a ball. I had to put that Nintendo spice and make things extra funny and cute. So I made the characters open his arms and legs and mouth whenever he reaches the exit. That subtle detail, combined with the zoom effect, gives the game a rather frantic feel. What do you think? Now that the main loop is ready, I just need to start designing levels. Like you can see, I already have all the layout ready, and only need to place the hazards and cannons in the right place. This is my favorite part of making a game, and I plan to savor it for a few weeks. Since the game has a very simple mechanic, I need to make the levels interesting enough to keep players engaged all the way to the end. And that is done by adding crazy elements and hazards in every level, introducing new ideas to surprise players and make them wonder how will they reach the exit. Basically, every level is a puzzle you need to figure out. After I finish designing all the levels, I will make the big plus of the game. The one thing that will make it something more than just a casual puzzle game, and that is boss fights. Yeah, I like my stories and my adventure games, so I couldn't help myself from combining the puzzle one-touch element of the game with platformer tropes like campaigns and boss fights. I think that will help separate the game from other hyper-casual games and add yet another element of surprise to keep things fresh and interesting. More on that later. So there you have it, this is Cannon Blast, a short game I'm currently developing and the first spin-off from Nekopirate. I want this game to be ready in record time, so it won't be long before you can put your hands on it and embark yourself on a new adventure in the high sea. As a ball, or a very flexible pirate. Thank you.